Hello everyone and welcome to Planet RIX-13, both the video game and the actual planet. So this is an adventure slash escape the room slash light horror game. First thing we need to do is seek out medical attention, and it's immediately clear we are not the first humans on this planet. Seems there were definitely people here before us, otherwise these human facilities would not be here. Now that we are no longer injured, we can walk much faster and begin our puzzle solving, such as grabbing a compute card, which we will put in a compute later. Now, when I say escape the room, there are very clear elements of escape the room, and the fact that we're walking around picking up a bunch of shit and then using it to eventually escape, but we're escaping an entire planet in this case instead of just a room. So it's a very large escape the room. Server 1 is not available, can't use the computer. And it seems that we have too low a power level to use the printer, but if we study these schematics, we can go to the reactor and probably fix what's wrong with the power. Yes, I did forget how to say schematics briefly. Alright, let's put in that compute card into server 1, and over to the right there is another compute card, which we will also put into server 1, and then server 1 will be operational, allowing us to use that computer back there. This is what a lot of the puzzles in the game are like, but there are some, I'm not sure what the word, yeah, movement-based is probably the best way to put some of the puzzles. Most of the story is told through these emails or notes that are just lying around on the computer. And we also get helpful things from the computer like, locations and 3D printing instructions. We just got a 3D printing matrix thing. I don't know how 3D printers work, but anyway, we can 3D print a screen if we route enough power back to the printer, which means we'll have to head to the reactor. And the reactor is just here on the map, so we can zip around the map immediately instead of walking everywhere. If something glows, you're going to want to grab it. We got an anti-radiation filter, which is incredibly necessary for this upcoming room, as there is radiation right here in this reactor. Seems there's an energy rod missing. But if you remember correctly, we got the location for a supplies drop, so there may be an energy rod there. Just head to it on our map. See, it's the pile of shit. And indeed, here is the energy rod, which we couldn't have grabbed previously if we did not have the anti-radiation filter. So basically in this game you thoroughly explore a location and grab anything that glows, or at least touch anything that glows, and you'll figure out where to go next from there. There is no moon logic in this game, I'm happy to say. Let's put the energy rod in the reactor. And then we need to mess with some dials, or sliders, in order to actually get the energy level at 100%. This is mostly trial and error. You just move the sliders up and down until you reach the max percentage, like that. And now that we are back at 100% power, we can go use the 3D printer to print a screen, which we can use to fix the screen that was broken in Laboratory 2, and then we can hopefully use that screen to get new information for new locations and clues on how to get the fuck out of here. It's not clear yet why this place is abandoned, but it will become clear very shortly. This game is not very long. Took me about 60 minutes, maybe a bit over the first time around. As soon as I learned that you basically have to use every object you get, it was pretty simple to complete. Keep in mind, I'm not complaining about the game design, because I much prefer when things, you know, have a logical connection like this. Like the screen's broken, so we need to replace the screen. I get that. I can parse that. That makes sense to me. So here's some runes and what they mean. They correspond with plants on the planet. That's important later. And we got a new location, the other two laboratories, which will be integral to figuring out what the fuck happened to these people. Though not too in-depth, let's say. This is a game mostly about repairing shit and removing roadblocks, either literal or like metaphysical roadblocks. Which I guess is to be expected for a game like this, you know? So we can see that there's something here they're looking for. They just call it the object. And I'm sure there's nothing ominous or weird or scary about this object that's causing anything wrong to happen. If you ever feel like you're stuck in this game, I assure you that you are not. Just head to a different location and walk around until you touch all the glowing stuff, and then you will figure out what you need to do. I promise. We're learning so much about this object. Oh no. It seems the object is ominous and causing issues and freaky things to happen. There's a cave system and an oxygen filter here that we need to 3D print for the cave system. And a compute card. Can't forget that. So we can go explore the cave system after we 3D print the oxygen mask. I'm shocked. I'm so shocked that the object on this planet, this mysterious object that these people were researching, has some ominous and potentially deadly properties to it that cause the researchers to hallucinate and or die, causing the abandonment of these facilities. Downright shocked, I tell you. Who could have predicted that this game about escaping a mostly uncharted and strange planet would have some sort of object in it that would cause anomalies to occur that would kill off all the previous researchers in this location? Surely such a plot device has never been used before. Okay, now that we're done poking fun of the cliches, I don't actually mind the cliches. I get this game is not terribly original. I don't care. Mostly because our character does not seem interested even the slightest fucking amount in actually solving the mystery, which I appreciate. I think not enough games are about escaping. You know, too many of these games are about figuring out what happened, when realistically most people wouldn't want to do that. They just want to get the fuck out like our guy does. We're seeing some strange runes here, which definitely means we're getting closer to the weird ominous thing. Oh no, we grabbed a crystal that warped reality, and now we're trapped in this room and have to die. We don't actually have to die, I just ran out of oxygen. What you're really supposed to do is when you grab the crystal, you walk to the left, and it seems like a dead end, but then you walk back to the right and there's a new pathway. Now this puzzle, again, trial and error. We just have to press the switches the right amount of times in the right order, and eventually the door will open. Like that. We had to search this corpse first, though. So it is confirmed that these people are dead, and their death definitely had something to do with this ominous thing they were researching. These foolish people trying to figure out more about the world around them. When will they learn that whenever there are strange purple ruins, that means you're going to die? It's just inevitable. Yes, these shrubs and such we are picking up are important. We got another compute card, can't forget that. So we get a reminder here about one of the researchers' birthdays, which is important because one of the researchers' birthdays is a password to a safe. And we have the repeater settings, which are important for reasons that we will see shortly. And there's also inexplicably a 3D printy thing on here for a door lock. And we do need a door lock, so we got a piece of paper. It has numbers written on it. It is clearly the first half of a piece of paper, so we will have to find the second half later. There are two safes in this game. So presumably the birthday opens one of the safes and the other safe is opened by these two halves of paper, only one of which we have right now. This is post-commentary, as you are seeing my second playthrough of the game. That being said, this is pretty much my exact thought process the first time I was playing. It just took longer, because I walked back and forth between the locations a lot more. Again, the game isn't terribly original, but that's not really the point, I think. Really, it gains a lot of points from me simply because the character is not interested in solving the mystery of what happened here. It's a big plus. Right, let's set let's set the settings on this repeater and repair this door lock. You just attach the new door lock. That's how those work. Granted, I don't know what our field of expertise is, so... Huh. Nothing weird happened in here. There's some rope. And a pile of garbage with a piece of paper in it. It's not really garbage if it has that piece of paper we need, is it? There are also some explosives, presumably to clear out rubble in the various areas they were researching, and a door we can't access without a yellow keycard. But we can now open both safes that are on this planet, one of which we open with the shreds of paper, and the other of which we open with the birthday information. I'm not sure why they even bothered putting combinations on the safes, but they did. We have to check the paper because I forgot the combination. Strangely enough, I remembered something much more important later in the game than a simple 4-letter combination. We have the yellow access card, which is exactly what we needed, but we're going to go ahead and open the other safe first. In case you're wondering what our character was doing before he crashed here, I don't think it's super important, but what he was doing was searching for a new planet suitable for life, and some strange anomaly forced us to crash on this planet. And there is no way to confirm this, of course, but I'm fairly certain the anomaly was caused by this object the researchers were investigating. Server 2 is not available. Thankfully, we have been picking up a whole lot of compute cards on our journey from point A to point B, C, D, E, F, G. So now we can go put the compute cards in the server room. I don't know why I came in here. I will say that I do absolutely appreciate the lack of music in this game. I feel like it adds a lot. Like, the game isn't necessarily exciting enough for music, but the ambient noise of the planet and sound effects give it a more authentic and haunting feeling. It's not the kind of game you need to be pumped and excited for. It's a very slow game, very atmospheric game. But now we can fix up server 2 and access what I think is the final computer. Assuming you don't count that we haven't used the radar yet, but we can access the radar computer, we just can't use the radar yet. Because only one of the 2 repeaters necessary for the radar to work are functional. There is still no clear way off the planet yet, as our ship is entirely busted. But that will change very, very shortly. In spite of me saying we were going to open both safes, I did forget to open one of them, so we're going to go fix that right now. The other safe was in Laboratory 01, which is where we currently are. And I'm sure nothing weird will happen whenever we grab whatever is in the safe here. Especially if it's another one of those strange crystals. I'm sure nothing weird's going to happen. Right, now we got to put in this guy's birthday, if you recall correctly. As he did say the password is his birthday. Thankfully there was a reminder stapled on the fridge of the modern world, a computer, to alert us to this effect. Alright. Oh hey look, a crystal. Uh-oh. Everything's leaking purple. We should get out of here. Oh no. We re-entered the same room. What a conundrum. We'll just keep trying to exit until we... oh no, the clock is messed up. We should fix that. Oh, okay, reality's back to normal. No worries, everyone. I'm sure these crystals we are collecting have some sort of large amount of significance toward the object the researchers were researching, and that significance will become apparent shortly, I'm sure, as the gameplay only has about 7 minutes left in it. I do like the name of this game, by the way. I like that it's called Planet RIX-13. Like, it hasn't been given a more romantic designation. I feel like that adds to the feeling of the overall game. I don't know why I'm checking these computers I've already checked several times when there is a perfectly checkable computer that is yet to remain checked that will give us more information as to how to complete the game. That being said, we also never checked the crash site of our spacecraft, so we should do that real quick. It requires the anti-radiation filter, but we have picked that up ages ago. And you know, now that I think about it, we do need to check for any useful components, such as this navigation block. If for some reason, say, our other means of escape off the planet were to not have a navigation block, we would definitely need that navigation block. But what are the chances of something like that happening, really? Alright, back in Laboratory B03. That way we can look at this computer that desperately needs checked. To the far right, we can see a potential means of escape, the cargo ship. We can see a designation of the flora on this planet, and we can see that the researchers rightfully decided to leave after the mysterious object they were researching started killing them. The number of the flora and the plants they correspond to, very important. But for now, we should obviously go check out that cargo ship and see if we can leave via said cargo ship. Something tells me it's not going to be that easy, but we should still go check. Oh, hey, look, another repeater. Just like the last one, we should set the frequency properly. And you know, let's make sure I set the frequency properly. You know, whatever this object is certainly seems to be messing with all the technology on this planet. So the cargo ship probably isn't safe. In truth, I meant to check it to show you it isn't safe, but we'll just pretend that we know it isn't, because it isn't. And instead, we are going to use the radar. Now that both repeaters are active, we can use the radar to find the 2 remaining crystals, going by signal strength. They are in 2 separate locations, as is to be expected. Just have to move the cursor around the map until we find the well. And over in, I think it's the top right, we will find the last crystal location. And then we will go and get those crystals, one of which requires an item that we got quite some time ago that you may have forgotten. It's a little, there we go. Alright, first we're going to the well. And we did pick up a rope a while ago. I wouldn't blame you if you forgot, but we're going to go throw the rope down the well and then go in the well. The reason we are searching for these remaining crystals is because some sort of anomaly has caused the cargo ship to malfunction, and it's reasonable to assume the anomaly was caused by the object the researchers were researching. If we touch these green droplets, they will kill us, so we need to time our movement carefully. And after we grab the crystal, a green fog will chase after us, so we need to move past the droplets while escaping the green fog. It's not hard in the slightest if you've ever played a video game before in your life. And there's only 1 crystal remaining. This one is in the ruins. But rather than go straight to the ruins, as one might do, we're going to go back to the laboratory and sequence break a bit. You see, the ruins have runes on them, and the runes correspond to certain flora on the planet, and we need to mix that flora in order, and then place the mix inside of the ruins. But I've already memorized which flora needs to be mixed by the designation, so we're just going to go ahead and mix them now instead of checking the ruins for the appropriate runes that will tell us which flora to mix. That's right, I was somehow able to memorize this RLT, RST, RGT nonsense, but not able to memorize a simple 4-digit passcode or memorize the simple plants that these codes pertain to. I don't know why my memory is like this. Either way, after checking this list a couple of times, we will then put in the appropriate ingredients and have the appropriate mix to go get the final crystal from the ruins. And then we will figure out what this object is, and hopefully figure out how to deal with it. That door, by the way, the one we've never walked in here, that one's jammed, so you can't enter it. Just in case you were curious. Alright, to the ruins. Or idol, apparently, as it's called. And we will put the potion we mixed in here. And grab the crystal. And now what happens is we have to scoot to the exit, because if we were to try to run to the exit, then a creature would jump out of the purple water and kill us. So we have to gently scoot our way to the exit. And now that we have all 4 crystals, there is one room that we never bothered to enter in this game. And said room is way back in Laboratory 01. It's the elevator. We never bothered to go in the elevator here, which you probably noticed and were wondering why we never bothered to go in the elevator. But we never went in the elevator because that is where the object is. And I didn't want you to see it until we were at the end of the game. It's not like impressive looking or anything, but we put the 4 crystals in here, and then we experience the ending of the game.